A few weeks ago, one of my LinkedIn followers dropped into my DMs with a compliment about my content. They'd been engaging with my posts for months, which made me smile because it meant my efforts were resonating. But then they asked, do you use AI to script your posts or do you actually write them yourself? I have to tell you, it made me stop and think. It wasn't an accusatory question, but it did carry this unspoken curiosity about how much of me was actually behind my work. And I get it. I really do get it. We're living in a world where artificial intelligence is everywhere, and it's becoming harder to tell the difference between something thoughtfully crafted by a person and something spit out by a machine. The question got me thinking about how AI is showing up in our lives and how we as humans need to show up even more intentionally to preserve what makes us unique. Today, I want to dive into the tidal wave of AI, the fears, the opportunities, the shortcuts, and how we can leverage this powerful tool without handing over the keys to our humanity. The current reality is we're in the middle of this shift. Right now, AI is no longer coming, it is here. And for some, it feels overwhelming. Maybe you've shaken your head thinking the world is changing too fast and I don't know how I'm going to keep up. Or maybe you felt fear creep in. Will I be replaced? Will I be left behind? For others, AI is an exciting shortcut, a way to bypass the hard stuff and still sound like an expert. As humans, we have this desire to make things easy. We want things quick. We want them now. We aren't very good at being patient to get what we want. And most every day, there is another version of AI support in our workspaces. Recently, a tool I work with came out with its own AI version. While it may be the AI flavor of the week, it taught me a few lessons. First, the hype can be bigger than the reality. There was this big buildup that it was coming, and when it arrived, I was a bit underwhelmed. Knowing the capacity of what can be done with the tool, the AI version leaves me wanting more. If something is promoted as it will do all your work for you, take caution, pause, and maybe run the other way. But before you begin to realize the potential, there's a lot of work to be done. When it comes to AI, it's only as effective as what you give it to start with. The concept of garbage in, garbage out is very much at play here. And if you don't know what you should be asking or understand the type of outputs you want, you can get this false sense of security that because you've purchased a product that you're getting it right. Lots of people hate to write, and so they're looking for the easy way out. Just because you aren't a good writer doesn't mean you have to leave opportunities to connect on the table. Here's the truth. AI is neither your savior nor your enemy. It's just a tool. And just like any tool, it's only as good as the hands that control it. The world is moving fast, and ignoring AI is not an option. But rushing to use it for everything without understanding its limits can distance you from the very people you're trying to connect with. Let's take a look back to see how we even got here. AI might feel like it popped up overnight, but its roots go way back. In the 1950s, a computer scientist developed a program to play checkers, and it was also during that time the term machine learning was born. By the 60s, robots were on assembly lines doing work deemed too dangerous for humans, and in the 80s is when the first driverless car appeared. By 2020, OpenAI started beta testing GPT-3, a tool capable of creating content almost indistinguishable from human work. What we're experiencing now is an acceleration, an exponential leap forward. But AI didn't come out of nowhere. It's been woven into the fabric of our lives for decades. Siri, Netflix user experience recommendations, and algorithms that serve up the right content for us. AI is already part of how we live. The question isn't whether it's here to stay. The question is, how are you going to connect with it? There's a lot of noise about AI right now, and much of it falls into one of three camps. AI will replace us. AI is the ultimate shortcut. And if I'm not tech savvy, AI is not for me. Let's unpack these. Will AI replace us? No, but it will replace repetitive tasks. AI doesn't have your creativity, your empathy, or your ability to build deep human connections. Those are your superpowers. Is AI the ultimate shortcut? It's tempting to think so, but shortcuts often lead to shallow outcomes. AI can enhance your work, but it can't replace the depth and thought and heart you bring to the table. Is AI only for the tech savvy? Not anymore. Just like the internet in the early 2000s, AI tools are becoming more user-friendly every day. The key is staying curious and open to learning. So how do we move forward? Here's my take. Fear it, respect it, embrace it. Fear it for its potential to disconnect us if we're not careful. This is a cautious fear of the impact on how we use it, not one of the hair on fire panic. Respect it for its ability to save time and enhance our work. And embrace it as a tool that can work alongside us, not replace us. Let's break this down into some practical steps. There are 3 ways to think about AI. Let's talk about using AI in everyday life. Think predictive text, chatbots, personalized email campaigns. When we see how we've been using it all along, from auto-corrected text to send what's in our recommended watch list on streaming services. The second layer is producing and building with AI. You can use it to brainstorm ideas, automate repetitive tasks, and improve efficiency. This is where I see people in a variety of ranges of adoption. There are those who in the early stages asking AI questions as if they're doing a simple organic search. And then there are those who are using it as a business and brainstorming partner. Good for you. Then we have the third category, teaching others to use AI. If you're a coach, consultant, or educator, this is a golden opportunity to help others navigate this new world. AI doesn't have to be overwhelming. Start small, experiment. Use it as a thinking partner to enhance your creativity, not replace it. So a question I get from many of my clients is asking if I'm using AI and where am I using it? I like to address those people who proudly proclaim that their content is not AI generated. That's telling me they want to communicate they're still the one driving the direction of their content and trying to connect as a human. But what this also means is they must go beyond showing up as an expert, which is what AI empowers you to do. So here's how I use AI for this particular podcast. It helps me brainstorm podcast ideas, research guests, and summarize transcripts. I fact-checked everything. AI is getting things wrong, and I owe it to you as my audience to share accurate information. When it comes to writing podcast promotion posts for LinkedIn, I select one controlling idea I want to feature, which takes me back to the question I started the episode with. Do I use AI to write my post? No, I write them from my point of view. That's all me. I have a formula, and so I'll share it with you. I start with a controlling idea. I set up the prevailing wisdom that exists. I then ask the audience to consider why that may not be true. I connect with them as a human, and I ask a question for engagement. All of this to say is that artificial intelligence acts as a tool that I use, and I'm always trying to discover new ways to use it. I infuse everything with my tone, my perspective, and humanity. AI might mimic style, but it can't replicate connection. Remember, AI is like an intern. It can do a lot, but it still needs guidance. And at the end of the day, the one thing AI can never replicate is you. Your experiences, your empathy, your intuition, your creativity, these are your superpowers. AI might make things faster, but it can't replace the depth of human connection. And as humans, we have this unique ability to connect, to listen, to inspire, to dream, and that's not going away. In fact, in a world increasingly influenced by AI, those qualities are more important than ever. So here's my challenge to you. How will you use AI to buy back time and energy so you can dive deeper into what makes you human? How will you leverage this tool to serve your audience, not distance yourself from them? AI isn't going anywhere, and neither is your humanity. You are special in ways no algorithm can ever be. Your ability to connect, reflect, create meaning out of chaos, that's what the world needs today. So don't fear AI. Don't hand your keys over to your kingdom. Instead, let it be a tool that supports your vision, your creativity, your unique perspective. Because at the end of the day, the most powerful thing you can do is show up as your whole authentic self. And that's something no machine will ever replicate. I want to encourage you to know who that authentic self is. You're not going to find it at the end of an AI prompt. You have to do the work to peel back the layers to uncover it. And if that resonates with you, it may be time to consider the Reimagine You quiz, 12 short questions that will identify which direction is calling you to come back to yourself. I'll also be hosting a Reimagine You workshop and the next cohort of the Next Steps to the New You in just a few weeks. The way to be notified is to register for my So Much More newsletter, where I send value-filled content one idea at a time. You can get the link in the show notes. And finally, if you're curious about learning more about the origin of how you were designed to operate, go to my website to download your free human design body graph chart. Reach out and I can analyze your chart to help you better understand how you were designed to operate and make decisions in this world. And you can find that at lisamcguire.com. So until next week, I know you're watching what's happening in the world right now and trying to make sense of how you fit in. The answers can't be found externally because your clues are buried inside. That is what is driving your passion to connect with your purpose and calling you back to become your personal brand of integrity. That's where you find happiness and fulfillment you seek on the way to discovering your legendary self. Thanks for joining me here today. I'll see you here next week.